So I'm trying to possibly stream on both Facebook here and Instagram, but I'm not sure how to set this up here. So bear with me as I pile a bunch of things behind my phone to prop it up. And then we'll go live. Oh, here we go. Okay, so now we're live on Instagram and Facebook, but I'm trying to figure out a way to prop up my phone, and I'm not sure how this works because I know Facebook and Instagram are like a mated pair now, and everything is linked. So I don't know how this is going to work with me going live here, and if it's going to affect me going live here, over here on Facebook. Oh, you can't, whatever. Okay, so let me just bear with me here while I try to like.
When are you going for your MRI?
Hopefully next month.
And do you know the facility that you want?
CDI.
CTI?
Yeah.
Remember, you have to wait for us to call you because
Yeah.
you have to check it for insurance.
Yeah, no, I know.
will give you the-
Yeah, I know. Thank you. Okay. All right. Well, what did I just do? Oh, I just dropped something down my chair. Well, I apologize to the people on Facebook because you've got this like backlighting behind me. I've got this window, but this little table that's in my room, there was really no other way to set this up. So thank you everybody for your questions today. I'm going to answer a few of them, most of which I get asked a lot. So this is actually great timing. And also talk about a couple other things that kind of came up when a practitioner came in to talk with me. So the first question that was asked, that I get asked pretty often is, what do you do to get ready for a Tysabri infusion? So there's a couple things that I do. One thing is I always am sure to drink lots of water the morning of an infusion. I heard somewhere, I don't know how true this is, but I heard that the more hydrated your veins are, the more flexible and kind of malleable they are. So, which comes in handy for not just the infusion, which I'm hooked up to right now, but also where I go, they draw labs every single time I'm here. So they draw things like JCV, kidney function, I think, liver function, vitamin D, blood cell count, things like that. And they don't do all of those every single month. Adrian, they don't do those all every single month. They've got kind of a schedule, but there's always some kind of blood work. So I like to make sure that my veins are mushy. So I drink lots of water. What else do I do? I take Claritin. They always make sure that you take a Claritin before every infusion. From what I remember, it has to do with preventing some sort of allergic reactions that can happen while you're, being infused. So I always take a Claritin. I bring my own from home because you never know how much they're going to charge you in a hospital for a little pill. So I do that, and then I always ensure to wear comfy clothes. Now, my first live stream, I feel like I was a little bit more, stylish. I actually, put some time into it, put on a full face of makeup and everything. But as we've gone forward with this, you've probably noticed a progression of just more cozy and cozier clothes and, less makeup. Today is different, though. Today, you get a full face, fully beat. So, and clothes I usually want to be comfortable too because you never know what the temperature is going to be. They do a pretty good job of keeping it nice and cool in the infusion room, but sometimes it can be really hot. So sometimes I dress in layers and things that aren't too constricting, that kind of thing. And then I also come prepared with questions for a practitioner. At the facility where I get my infusion, every time you come in, you get either like a nurse practitioner or a physician's assistant coming in, and they talk to you about, like any changes since your last visit, and they do, that neurological exam that we all know and love so much. I call it kind of like it looks like a sobriety test. Close your eyes, touch your nose, squeeze your fingers, and all sorts of things. So I always come prepared with questions as well. Another question that was asked was from somebody who is currently transitioning to a different medication, but they love Tysabri. They didn't say why they were transitioning to a different medication, especially since they love the one they were on. I'm assuming they turned JC positive. But they asked, is it the only DMT that I've tried? And for those not in the know, DMT is drug modifying therapy. And the answer is no, I have not, or I have tried many other DMTs. I actually wrote a blog post about it, which I'm going to quickly post the link on the Facebook end of this live stream. So if you're curious about it, you can look there. For those of you on Facebook, I am commenting right now with that link. And for you on Instagram, you can just go to itsonlybrews.com and you can actually search for Gotta Make the Cupcakes, and that will take you to a blog entry about every treatment that I've tried. Thanks, Drew. Got Duran commenting over here on the Instagram feed. So the ones that I've tried, and obviously I go into more detail in the blog that I wrote about these, but I've been on Avonex. That was my very first one. And that one, I don't know if it didn't work for me because I wasn't mentally ready to be doing it, you know, because when I first got diagnosed with MS, prior to that, I had never been in, you know, had an overnight hospital stay, no severe allergies, no stitches, no surgeries, no broken bones. My health things have changed since then. As I'm listing those off, I'm like, I've gotten like all of these things are have kind of happened recently. But so when I was prescribed Avonex, you know, I had this nurse come to my house and she had to teach me how to, you know, inject myself with needles and stuff like that. It was kind of scary, and I was in a really kind of depressed state and in denial. So I don't know if maybe Avonex was just too much for me. And from what I remember, that was a weekly injection, and you didn't start out with an auto injector. You started out with like an actual syringe, and that I don't know if that was why I don't know. But then after that, I was on LDN, that's low dose naltrexone. It's not approved for MS use, but it has been shown to help with certain symptoms with MS. So I was on LDN for a while. That is a story, and I hope you go to the blog and read about that one, because it was insane. It kind of was like a psychotic episode that I experienced as a side effect, and it was awful. Next up, there was Gilenya was suggested to me, but I wasn't a candidate for it, as I showed mild macular edema, which is swelling in the back of your eye. And I guess that can be a side effect of Gilenya. So if you have it pre-existing, you're not a good candidate. So that was out. Then I was on Tecfidera, who I was actually just talking to the nurse practitioner about Tecfidera, and I'll tell you more about that later. But with that one, I had ear to ankle, like red, itchy, painful welts. My entire body was covered, and you'll see pictures of that if you go to the blog that I'm talking about, the Gotta Make the Cupcakes blog. So you'll see pictures of that and the drama behind that and why it was so difficult to get anybody to believe me that it was a medication causing it. And then after that, I was on Rebif for about 2 years. Rebif is supposed to be a really good treatment, but my last MRI about a year ago, there were multiple active, angry lesions on my brain. So now we're here with our Tysabri. So Tysabri is obviously a more aggressive type of DMT. And there's 2 other ones that are through infusion. Well, 3 other ones if you count. Is it Rituxan? I'm probably saying it wrong, but that's not approved for MS, but a lot of MS patients use it. It's kind of like it's very similar to chemo. Bye, Drew-Ann, thank you. What else? Okay, so another question that was asked was, do you use CBD to treat MS symptoms? For those that don't know, CBD is a compound found within cannabis, like THC. And I get this question a lot. And despite me getting this question a lot, I don't know much about it. No, you're fine.
That's your next appointment.
Okay.
And you're ready about MRI authorization and order for MRI.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. So like I was saying, despite being asked this question a lot, I'm just looking to see, starting Rituxan. So I am pronouncing it right. Same as Ocrevus. Yeah, Ocrevus is kind of like the sister to Rituxan, but it's actually approved for MS. So let's see, what else? And I've heard good things about it, so I'm curious to hear how your experience is with it. Okay, hey Christy, girl, long time no talk. Okay, so the question was, do you use CBD to treat MS symptoms? CBD oil, of course, being a compound of cannabis. And I'm still very ignorant on that topic. And I think it's, you know, I mean, people ask me all the time, so I really should maybe learn more about it so I can answer more intelligently. But another reason I don't know much I think, oh, Facebook, we're back. We disconnected. I apologize. It's hospital Wi-Fi, so I'm hoping you can both hear me okay and that the connection is okay. Otherwise, I mean, other than I know Facebook, you've got this horrible backlighting that's washing me out. Instagram, you're doing all right over here. So I don't have a lot of symptoms like pain or persistent numbness or tingling. My two biggest symptoms would be like extreme fatigue and a little bit of cognitive fog, trouble focusing sometimes, that kind of thing. And the other thing I noticed too is if I have too much sugar, like all at once, or I am overtired or overstressed, the left side of my body, particularly like my left arm, my left leg, they get like really heavy, like they don't feel like my own. So other than that, I don't have too many outward symptoms that bother me on a persistent basis. So because of that, I don't really do anything to treat them. There was a period of time that I was taking Provigil, and I don't even know if you would call it a period of time. I think I took it 3 times. Twice was a half dose, once was a full dose. And that was prescribed to help with fatigue. The half dose, I didn't notice too much. The full dose, that was intense because I felt great all day taking Provigil. I was, you know, very productive and got a lot done that day and I felt awesome. But then I couldn't fall asleep until the following night. And even then I had trouble sleeping. So I'm no longer taking Provigil. Not like I ever really did. It was literally 3 days. And yeah, hi, you're back.
He adds spine too.
Oh, really?
MRI,
Okay.
but then he adds spine.
Yeah, that's fine. Great. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Hopefully this is it.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, I'll talk to you guys about that in a second. So, I can't remember if they actually use CBD or THC or any variation thereof to treat, but I know I've seen, I can't remember, of course, now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that Caroline with Girl with MS and Beth with Modern Day MS, I'm almost positive they posted articles about using CBD and cannabis and, you know, all those other things to treat symptoms, but I'm not sure if like they themselves use it. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know I've seen either one of them or both of them put out information. So I would definitely recommend checking them out as well. Again, that's Girl with MS and Modern Day MS. What else? Oh, another question was, how has your feeling about PML risk changed? Has your feelings about PML risk changed at all through these months into the Tysabri treatment? So for those who don't know, about 60% of the population have this virus in their system called the JC virus. And of course, I can't remember what the full name is, but it's JC is short for it. But 60% of people have this virus in their system, right? But you'll never know it because you have white blood cells, you know, kind of keeping it under control. So the way that Tysabri works is it blocks white blood cells from going into your spinal cord and your brain. So if you have this JC virus, and now you don't have any white blood cells in your spinal cord and your brain, well, then that opens up the door to infections like meningitis and I think herpes. Does that go to the brain? I don't know. I saw that somewhere. And also PML, which is an infection of the brain. So fortunately for me, I am one of the 40% of people that does not have the JC virus, and you get tested for it before starting Tysabri. And I'm fortunate to also be in a facility that they test for JCV every single month, every single time I'm in here. They say that even if you turn positive at any point, and nobody knows how you get this virus or anything about it, but for people who do turn positive, I've heard that from the people here that you can stay on Tysabri for up to 2 years, I believe, after turning positive. They just monitor it more carefully. But PML, yeah, that's a very scary thing. A former coworker of mine, one of her family members passed away from PML, so it's no joke. She said it was horrible to watch. So I'm really glad that they monitor things here and all of that. But how have my feelings changed about it? It was very scary at first when they told me that I couldn't be on Rebif anymore and that I had to choose between Tysabri, Lemtrada, and Ocrevus. And I opted out of Lemtrada and Ocrevus for other reasons, and if you're interested, maybe I'll go into that in a minute. But so it was scary at first to kind of choose between these, and it's, you know, risk versus benefit. And as soon as I found out I was JC negative and that they'd be monitoring me, I felt most comfortable here. So I kind of tucked it into the back of my mind. However, a couple months ago when I was in for an infusion, I think it was like at the 6 or 7 months being into Tysabri, the nurse practitioner came in and they're like, okay, so now after, you know, 6 or 7, oh, thanks, Justin. So now after like 6 or 7 months, you know, your body's fully kind of like, you know, it's in you. The Tysabri is in you. It's part of you. So by that point, you no longer have any white blood cells in your spinal cord and brain. It's like, I know that. I knew that going in, but it was just kind of, it was a little jarring to hear it from the doctor, or from the nurse practitioner rather, and, you know, but like officially, no, that's it. You don't have anything protecting your brain or your spinal cord right now. It was a little scary. So, I mean, that's in the back of my mind, but I feel safer because of how great of a treatment this is. It's just a known fact that it's one that a lot of people do very well on, and a lot of good results from Tysabri. The reason I chose not to do Ocrevus is there's an increased risk for things like skin cancer and also breast cancer. My paternal grandmother passed away from breast cancer. Now, granted, that was in the 60s, so had she been alive today, she probably would have survived it, but still, that history is there, so that concerned me a little bit. And my father also had, that beeping means that someone needs to come in, and that means the Tysabri is done, and then they're going to switch me over to saline for about an hour, so that beeping will persist. Oh, you can come. No, definitely in here. Intermission. I never ordered that food yet.
You didn't?
No, I'm really hungry. I should have done that like right away.
Yeah.
At this point, I should just wait. What, it's another hour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can wait that long.
Okay.
I've got bars.
All right. Nothing wrong here.
So is that
Halfway done.
halfway done? Whole table. Do you need this guy?
Yeah.
This would be a good time to have a snack.
All right.
All set?
Yeah, you good? Need
I'm
anything?
good. I'm
All
good.
right. Let me know if you order food.
Yeah, I will. Why do you want something?
No,
Okay.
logistical. Like,
Yeah. I know.
let them know where to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Of course, as soon as I open it, I always feel weird like talking when somebody comes in here to like change the medication or whatever. So, oh, Hubba Dubs is here. What's up, baby? Okay, so as I was saying, the Ocrevus I wasn't really excited about because of the increased risk for breast cancer, which my grandmother passed away from, and skin cancer. My father was diagnosed with a really rare and aggressive form of skin cancer 15 years ago. So he lived through it, he survived, but that risk is there. So yeah, so I felt like Tysabri was the best way to do it. Least risk, most benefit for me personally, but that's something that everybody has to decide for themselves. So speaking of the skin thing, something interesting that the nurse practitioner said when he was in here, because we were talking about how, okay, so I mentioned a few minutes ago how Tecfidera, it covered me from ears to ankles and like these red, itchy, painful welts. And that's why I stopped it. And he actually said that they don't really prescribe Tecfidera anymore, that the skin thing is like a huge thing with Tecfidera, which is irritating to me because like when that was happening to me, they're like, no, it's totally not the drug. It's your laundry detergent or something like that, despite it going away when I stopped the medication and coming back when I started it up again. And I've mentioned this in that blog post that I linked over on Facebook, the Facebook feed, Gotta Make the Cupcakes, where I talk about all the different DMTs that I've tried. In the Tecfidera commercial, if you go on YouTube and search for Tecfidera commercial, you'll see that they warn against, hives and skin rashes and things like that. But he said they don't really he said worldwide, it's the #1 prescribed MS therapy, but not many places around here. In here it looks like it's in a storm. Whoa. But anyway, so we were talking about that, and I brought up the fact that over the last couple of days, I've had these like tiny itchy red bumps on my forearm, and if I scratch them, they like get really inflamed and stuff. And the last time this happened, the welts I had from Tecfidera were huge. I mean, it looked like, I mean, you'll see the pictures if you go look at that blog post, but these are just like tiny little, they look like little pin pokes all over me, and they're kind of pinkish. And the last time this happened was when I was on Rebith for after like a year and a half. So I don't know if it's related to the drugs directly, this rash, not the Tecfidera one. That was very obviously related. But he said that, you know, when you're on medications like this or other medications, you can become hypersensitive to things in the skin. So, but he recommended that I go to a dermatologist, especially because my father had this rare and aggressive skin cancer, and because I have light eyes, and because I have fair skin, and I've had more than 3 sunburns before the age of 15, who hasn't, and because I have freckles on my shoulders, like I'm at like high risk. So now that's like something else for me to lose sleep over. So there's that. So that's all the questions I was planning on getting through today. I'm hungry. My dogs were being ridiculous before having to come here, so I didn't have a chance to pack food to bring here, and I was going to order some food, but then got tied up with other things here. So I don't know if I'm gonna order food or not because I still have an hour here. But the last thing that I really wanted to mention, and I know I'm so late to the game on this, I was planning on saying something about this like 2 months ago, but of course I just kept putting it off for whatever reason. Oh, stupid. But the WeGo Health Awards nomination period is open now and it's closing soon, possibly at the end of this month. I'm going to link that over on the Facebook feed. You're welcome. You have to let me know how the Rituxan goes. Let's see here. I'm going to post a link to, oh, wrong website. Here we go. I'm going to post a link to my profile on the WeGo Health website in the rewards section. Here it is. I'm going to pop it over on Facebook. It's only a Bruce Facebook page. So I've been very, very honored to be nominated for one of the many awards that's offered for the WeGo Health Awards. We're patient leaders and advocates. Oh, we lost Instagram. Come back. Hospital Wi-Fi, gotta love it, but we're back. So I was nominated for, I think it was Best in Show Instagram. Shout out Instagram. Oh, gotta be careful with this needle. Different placement today. And there's other awards that you can nominate your favorite patient leaders and advocates for, like Best Blog, Best Twitter, Best Facebook, Rookie of the Year, Diamond in the Rough, where it's like, you know, an advocate that more people should know about but don't yet. So I just ask you that if I have impacted you in any way with my advocacy in a positive way and brought knowledge and comfort and relatability to your life, I would ask you to just consider maybe nominating me and also endorsing me for the nominations that are already in there. That would be awesome. I'd greatly appreciate it. I don't think I'm going to win, not just because, I mean, there's so many incredible patient leaders out there, many of whom I'm honored to know and have met before for all different health conditions. Not only that, but I also have not been talking about it for as long as I should have, like really just within the last few days. And I know the nomination and endorsement periods are coming to a close quickly. But you know, it's yeah. So, but yeah, if you wouldn't mind, like if you would consider nominating and or endorsing me for a WeGo Health Award, and you can choose which award you feel fits best. Like I said, there are multiple ones to choose from. I greatly appreciate it, especially if you feel like my advocacy has in any way helped you in a positive way. So that is pretty much all I have today. I think I answered all the questions I was going to answer. I brought up the things I talked about with my nurse practitioner, and that's it. So yeah, hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the day. We've been streaming for about half hour now, and it looks like it's been successful on the 2 platforms. So plan on doing this again. My next one is August 21st will be the next infusion. That's a Tuesday, same time. Again, it's hard to give an exact time of when the stream is going to start because, you know, they've got to do all the computer stuff and scanning the stuff and setting up the stuff, and then I have to wait for like a practitioner to come in and talk to me. Sometimes I wish that I was streaming when the practitioner would come in because they have such like great information that I know that you guys would be interested in. but I always worry that like then they're gonna slip with something like very personal that like I don't want out there. So that, gosh, okay, I'm really not used to this being here. I have to go to the restroom. I told you how much water I drink to make my veins all mushy. So I'm gonna go do that and I'm gonna order food, I think. That was it. Okay, we're rambling now. That means we're done. So you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again on August 21st. By that time, I might have already had my next MRI. If you were here when the woman came in, she said that it's not just going to be brain this time, it's going to be spine as well, which I have not had since I was first diagnosed 5 years ago. So I'm a little nervous about that. So we'll see. All right. You guys have a good rest of your day. Say goodbye to Facebook first. Thank you for joining. See you next time. Oh, there we go. Yep.